All good. All good. Yeah, I was walking this evening, just thinking a number of years ago, I had a mate of mine in the football world, and he hadn't broke up long with his partner. And she's moved on and found somebody else. And having a talk one time, as you do, and it occurred to me, well, this was at least my interpretation of the situation, and I could be wrong, but it occurred to me that possibly he's interpreting the decision that his ex, as it was at that point, to finally leave and find somebody else as an insult to his own worth. And obviously that can be quite painful because you sort of placing your value, your worth on somebody else's choice. But I said it's important to reflect and pause in these situations, because basically sometimes you can take it personal. It can be a personal thing, but not necessarily personal about you. And I suppose you pause and reflect and think, okay, who have they chose to run towards? What qualities does the person have that was perhaps missing in your connection? And look, I'm not here to give anyone advice or make any suggestions. I'm just anecdotally speaking from experience, just reflecting here. But if you think about what they gave up by leaving you behind, that kind of tells you what their priorities and values are at that moment in time anyway. It could be that one person wants a family, one doesn't. It could be one person wants to live a certain type of lifestyle. It could be just the excitement that maybe someone else they think might provide. Who knows? Now, for better, for worse, they move on. And in this situation, the person she'd moved on to initially, it was all like excitement and getting out there and saying how great things were and so on and so forth. You know, the sort of the lovey-dovey stage and all the oxytocin and dopamine and all that sort of stuff reading. I think he took it as a bit of an insult really. He's been with her for a few years and found somebody else, and all of a sudden this new person was the best thing that had happened and so on and so forth. But ironically, in that situation, it didn't turn out so great for her anyway. But that's besides the point. If it did turn out great, so be it. It is what it is, isn't it? So, but the point here that I'm making is that ultimately, asking oneself, does their choice really define who you are? So in this situation, so that mate of mine, it's like, well, does the choice that she made define who you are? Or does it reveal more about her journey, her needs? So you're with someone who decides to move on for whatever reason. Does it reflect on your worth, or does it reflect on their own journey, what their needs are? Whatever their needs might be at that moment in time for some people. It could be just after some excitement. And I've known people before where people have moved on and they've wanted to go back as well. So the grass was greener, or at least they thought the grass was greener. They went for the excitement, then it didn't work out the plan, and they've even tried to get back. And that's everyone to their own. What they do is entirely up to them. But the point being is that, more to the point, by reflecting, it can help transform feelings that one has of rejection to growth and understanding. It's more, okay, well, it's about growth. There could be thousands, if not millions, of people who are a better fit for you if someone leaves. Or ultimately, you might decide, I want to be on my own. Who knows? Each to their own. Each to their own. But the point I'm making here is more about those feelings that people can have of rejection in their own worth, feeling that they weren't good enough, so to speak. I mean, who knows? People leave for various reasons, but you could, like in that situation I mentioned, mate of mine, it was like kind of analysing himself, thinking, well, was I not good enough, and this person better, and just sort of running around in circles when you think about it. But you just sort of stop and pause and think, well, actually, you know what? That was her journey. Everyone's on their own journey, their own path, so to speak. And in that situation, it worked out better for him anyway. Eventually, he would sort of move on to much bigger and better things. Like a lot of the time, sometimes you lose a job and you think, oh no, but you end up with a better job, a relationship, and things work out better for you. So, but besides the point, really, the point here is about our own self-worth, but also the point is focusing on our own growth, rather than sort of getting caught up on being rejected, our own worth, and so on and so forth, where you just sort of begin to focus your lens on your own growth.